Hello and welcome back to Mark's NOTCAST if you're a regular viewer, and if you're not, well, this is the first of hopefully many. My name is Mark. I'm a slightly older than middle-aged man talking in his man cave to his mobile phone about things he likes, loves, or merely owns. And to be honest, there are a couple of things that I own that I don't love, but I feel like I ought to have them. I'm a completist when it comes to the bands that I like, and that depending on your point of view, could be an ADHD thing, an autism thing, an OCD thing, or just a guy that likes stuff. I have tasked my one-man army of child slaves, i.e. my son, to pull into his bag of doom my usual assortment, which is a record, 7-inch CD, a DVD, a Blu Ray, a book. And I don't know what's in here, so I'm going to go in and find out in a minute. First off, Wednesday, 22nd of October, 2025. I haven't done one of these for over a week. I have been on tour, so I have been to see one of my very favourite bands. They are called Hope of the States, and they are back after a 20-ish year absence. Last year they played their first show since 2006. This year they played their first show since 2024, and I have the good privilege to have seen every show they've played this year and last year. And that means I have been to Bristol, London, Manchester, also saw John Grant in Edinburgh, and been to Scotland. So, yes, I've been on tour, and but I've also been not particularly well, and I am still shaking off a cold. I have had massive sneezing fits, which is not fun, but I suspect lots of us have had those recently, and that's completely normal, isn't it? Also, a big anniversary happened in my life on Monday. It was the 30th anniversary of the death of my mum. And I'm not going to talk about that because it's not, I don't feel like doing so. What I will say is obviously being part of the Dead Parents Club. Lots of you are probably in that, and it is a tough experience, and it is a difficult one, irrespective of the age that you are when it happens. I was 22 when it happened, on the 20th of October, 1995, and that was a very difficult period, I think it's fair to say. And there is an awful lot that's gone on around that, which I'm not going to share with you because I don't have to share everything with everybody. I've also found that when I do try and share things with people, that sometimes information about my personal life becomes weaponized and used against me and distorted and misinterpreted, and I haven't got time for that nonsense. It's not my circus, nor my monkeys. So, into the bag. Let's see what we've got here. The famed, it's not famed because only about 150 people ever watch these. Infamous, no, not even infamous. The previously seen on Channel Mark. So we've got the CD to start off with. I don't know what's coming out until I look at it. So, okay, so this is the wrong way round. There. Therapy's Disquiet album. I love Therapy. I think that the rock trio is one of the finest configurations that there can be. Primarily, the rock trio is, I mean, like the trio, like guitar, bass, and drums, certainly from a musical perspective, is often a very efficient, very slick way of playing. There's very little space in there, or more correctly, everything that's there is there because it has to be there. You can't have some guy whittling away in the background, adding nothing to the sound of the band. So think of your great rock trios that you've got. No, not the fucking Police, because I don't like Sting, and the Police are overrated. Rush, for example, who are back, and of course, getting old man tears falling in a torrent of rage that they haven't left Mike Portnoy to do it, but instead got a young German woman drummer to do it. And that drummer, by the way, she's brilliant. Maybe a controversial move, but from my perspective, nobody else is playing those songs. Nobody else should play those songs, really. And if Geddy and Alex want to play those songs together, other people want them to do it. It's an experience, one that we thought we'd never get. I hope those shows are amazing, and I'm sure they will be. And of course, whilst no one can replace Pert, we can reinterpret his stuff. So yes, all for Rush. I'm very pleased about that. Maybe not so pleased about the ticket prices, but there you go. Now, why am I talking about Rush when I should be talking about Therapy or the Rapey, depending on your point of view? As you can tell, still got a cold. So Therapy are, in my opinion, one of the great underrated bands of the 90s. Think of the lineage that they've come out from, bands like Husker Du, to an extent, Sugar, Black Flag, Judas Priest even, all those type of things. A combination of their influences that is both unique and easily accessible. So, to me, Therapy are a hard alternative rock band. Now that sounds ridiculous because that's bollocks, isn't it, when you think about it? You end up coming up with a point of view, it's like Reef but shoutier, and it's like, oh no, don't you dare tempt me with a good time. Therapy is so much better than that. It's ridiculous. Disquiet follows the pattern that the band have been making for at least the past 20 years. The now confirmed trio of Andy Cairns on vocals and guitar, the Evil Priest, who doesn't actually have a name. Well, actually he does. I think it's Michael McKeegan on bass, and Neil Cooper of Derby, formerly in a band called, oh God, I've forgotten their name, but they did play some shows recently, and their singer then went on to be the mayor of Derby. On drums, who's a fantastic drummer. I've seen Therapy many times. Love them to bits. They're loud. They are crunchy. They are uncompromising. They are, for example, one of the great overlooked, fantastic alternative rock bands of the 90s, the noughties, the 10s, and the 20s, which is where we are now. Good God, the 20s. So this is probably their 16th LP, distributed by Plastic Head Distribution on the amazing record company. I think this came out 2016, maybe? I don't actually know. I'm going to have to look at the copyright date, which is on it, 2015. So I did see the band on this tour a number of times. I think I saw them play the Scala. I think I've seen them play a couple of other shows around there. Has Still Hurts and Tides on it. And of course, some of their fantastic song titles: Vulgar Display of Powder, Torment, Sorrow, Misery and Strife, Deathstimate. What a brilliant name. Of course, if this band had come from, let's say, Denver in 1982, people would be falling over themselves to tell you how amazing they are and how they've changed the face of rock. But no, they came from Ireland in the 90s and had a bit of chart success. So have not been given the love that I think they really deserve. They're a fantastic band. Love them to bits. And yeah, absolutely great. Strongly recommended. Therapy. My favourite track by them of all time, and now this is going to be a surprise for you, is Misery, because I'm a cheerful, happy soul. What a great band they are. Right, next step. Let's see what's coming up next. I can find a book. That book. Right. Let's go for the 7-inch single. I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. So this is David Bowie's Be My Wife. And this is from the 40th anniversary picture disc series that they did for repressing 7-inch singles as picture discs, and often backed with new and previously unreleased songs. This was released in 2017. Be My Wife is a fine song. Don't remember much about it now. And it's backed with Art Decade, recorded in Perth in 1978. Previously unreleased, produced by David Bowie. So that kind of makes you think that, yes, there is a full live set from Perth that was recorded, mixed and prepared by David and just sat on the shelf. And surprisingly, hasn't yet been stuck out as a live album. What the hell are they thinking? They've only released something like 14 live albums since David died. Surely it's time for another one. Been at least 2 weeks since one of them came out. Anyway, the Pictures Disc series ended somewhere around the time of Ashes to Ashes. And the reason, apparently, is because the estate of Bowie decided that they didn't want to continue with them for some reason. So if you've bought every one as they've gone along, then I don't think it'll ever be finished, which is a shame. But there you are. Not vastly exciting. I'm far more interested actually in contemporary picture discs. I have the David Bowie. I think it's called the Lifetimes, 10 7-inch picture disc reissues box set from 1982. That has 10 of his original singles with original B-sides reissued in picture disc format in a box. It cost me a whole 50 quid that. Well, they saw me coming, didn't they? I own it. I think it's fair to say. But there's so much Bowie stuff out there. Talking of which, if you got tickets today for the V&A South, V&A East exhibition to visit the David Bowie Centre, congratulations, well done. I will be seeing you at one of those shows. Right, here comes the book, Lemmy, White Line Fever. Obviously, Lemmy is I think people overlooked him whilst he was here. And now that he's gone, I took him for granted. Motorhead were touring every 8 months. I could have seen them approximately 42 times. I only saw them once. Were they good? Not massively, no. On the grounds that Lemmy was going to be dead in 18 months after the show. And clearly whilst the spirit was willing, the flesh was weak. That said, I saw Motorhead and they were incredible at the same time. All the songs you wanted to hear, none of the songs you didn't. Can't remember if they played Orgasmatron or Killed by Death. Probably not. I know they did Dr. Rock because they've got a drum solo in Dr. Rock. Maybe they did Going to Brazil. I hope they did. Just because you got the power, it don't mean you got the right. I love Motorhead. I have come to them late. Again, another fantastic rock power trio, much like the Rapey and the Rush. A very underrated configuration to have with absolutely no slack in the band at all. They've done so many albums. And I bought quite a few of them recently. I mean, over time, you kind of realise that the price of the CDs came down. And I decided I was going to treat myself. So I now have all the Motorhead albums, including the live box set thing with all of the soundboard tapes in. This is a fine autobiography, in so much as you can clearly tell it's written by the guy that lived it. And it doesn't muck about. It really just tells the story exactly as it is and ends on perhaps a line in the book that now will not be true, in so much as I think the last words that he says are anyway, I'm very much alive and this is certainly not the last you'll be hearing from me. So there you go. And then chapter 13 ends finally, and this is good advice, buy our albums. You won't be sorry. Love, Lem, March 2003. One of the finer rock autobiographies because it really is the true story told in his authentic voice, the way that only he could do. After all, page 205 tells you anyway, the Alice Cooper tour, once we finally got on it, was a pain in the ass. It wasn't Alice's fault. He had no idea what we were being put through by his tour manager. The guy was a complete cunt. Well, no ghostwriter there. So, yes, I recommend that if you're into your rock and your roll. And they were Motorhead and they played rock and roll. Right, what have we got here? We've got, I think this is, this is exciting. DVD, Survival of the Dead, George A. Romero. I love a good horror movie. I've seen literally gazillions of them. I rate horror very, very highly as a genre. And if you want to see the upcoming kind of like shining lights of the future, always go for horror as a genre because horror is cheap to make. And if you don't have a huge amount of money, it could possibly be the best choice that you've got. Also, horror lends itself very, very easily to one of the key tenets of any narrative conflict that's successful, which is stasis, crisis, and resolution. Survival of the Dead, I think this is the fifth one, the sixth one. Maybe it's the last one he made, actually. I don't remember. 2010. And I think this follows, let me just quickly check, a world-weary band of soldiers going AWOL, convinced they'll be better off on their own. So each one of the Dead movies, and by the way, I'm going to mention there is a difference between The Living Dead and the Dead, there is a copyright dispute. And so therefore, all of the Romero movies are just The Dead. All of the movies by the other guy, whose name I can't remember, are The Living Dead. And frankly, we all know which side the bread is buttered. The Romero ones are better. Obviously, Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, I think Book of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead. They are a very, very interesting series of films that are interlinked inside the same universe that all make some kind of sense. And a character that's, I think this is the fifth film. The sixth film, I think, was the last one that Romero made. The character that is the lead in the sixth film has a cameo appearance in this one. That's where the stories kind of intersect, much like Clint Eastwood's Flag of Our Fathers and the Battle of Iwo Jima. Death isn't what it used to be. Yeah, it's a great film as far as Dead movies go. Romero's made some fab films. This is pretty damn good. Yeah, I like it. Is it great? Perfect? No. Is it good? Yes. Is it passable? 100%. Right, next one. I think it's going to be a Blu Ray. So let us go there, you and I, to where the sun meets the sky and find out what it is. Oh, well, okay. So Ghostbusters, answer the call. Right, so this is the Paul Feige movie from 2016, Lady Ghostbusters. Now, I have no problem with this film or with the fact that it's women being Ghostbusters. Absolutely not. And if you do, you're a sexist pig and piss off. On the grounds that it's quite good, actually, as far as Ghostbusters movies go. It's neither good nor bad. It is just very good at what it does. Recasting the film for women Ghostbusters, interesting idea. Flips the gender kind of expectations on their head. I think it's got cameos from Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd. Let me just quickly check. And it's written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. So if you don't like it, basically, you're saying that you don't like it. The people that actually invented Ghostbusters. And if anybody knows what Ghostbusters is like, it's going to be these people. Also, it has an amazing appearance by Chris Hemsworth, who is a complete himbo, and his dog is called Mike Hat. That's right, his dog is called Mike Hat. I do think the Ghostbusters sequels are missing out. All of them are missing out. In so much as I think every Ghostbusters sequel should be set in a different country with a different comedy troupe that has been selected from the very best of the comedy talent in that country at that given point in time. And just as an example, can you imagine just how amazing, for example, Ghostbusters Toronto could be? What mythology they could tap into there. Ghostbusters Norway, Ghostbusters Finland could be brilliant. And you could tap into the very specific, individual, localised ghost tropes. You know, Ghostbusters London. Okay, by the time you get to the 297th one and you're down to Ghostbusters Redditch, people are going, okay, maybe this isn't working. But, as a film, fine, love it, really enjoy it. Always had a good time watching it. I think Paul Feige is very underrated as a director. If I remember correctly, he made 2015 Spy, which is one of my favourite spy movies of all time, because it has not only the Stath, but it also has just a lovely inversion of everything that you would expect from a spy movie. It's the kind of both parody and homage at the same time that makes film truly excellent, in the same way that Galaxy Quest is, or The Orville, or maybe Top Secret is. You could take certain elements out of the story, not many, would legitimately stand up as a very good film in that particular genre. Ghostbusters Answer the Call is a very good film. I enjoy it a lot. I think this is, now we're on the last item that's in here. I have a sneaky suspicion I know what this is, actually, on the grounds that I noticed a hole in my collection when I was looking up. So it's bright pink. I don't have much that's bright pink. It is 3AM Eternal by the KLF. This is, if I remember correctly, this is the pure trance version, I think. The original single release. So let's quickly check on here. Someone's written on the label, maybe not. The second 12-inch KLF 005, featuring the remixes, featuring the original edit, and on the B-side, the Blue Danube Orbital, and the Moody Boy mix. Depending upon the copyright date for this, this might be, and I can't tell you for sure without looking at it, this might be the remixes of the original. Actually, they're not the remixes. They're not the 1990 hit version of 3AM Eternal. This is a pure trance version, remixed and re-edited. And KLF were kings of the remix. They had some amazing remixes. They had an absolutely atrocious one of one of the tracks, which is a vari-speed version, which is just a standard remix that they then kind of bent out of shape and sped up and slowed down. That one, put technically, was bullshit. 3AM Eternal. The Pure Trance series by the KLF is, in my opinion, actually a really excellent piece of trance, minimalist, almost like someone's doing electronic post-rock, in so much as you're using the instruments that you would play for a pop track or a rock track. And the song you're presenting is a minimal piece of repetition. Repetition. You know, that repetition that they have. It's repetitive. But what that really does, actually, and I love repetition sometimes, is it allows you to really listen very, very closely to the infinite variations in infinite possibilities, which I think was a thing from Star Trek, but also allows you to listen to a song and then really get underneath the song. So bits of the songs you wouldn't normally hear, like the tinkling second bass line, the gentle sweeping strings that sit underneath the song. I love those little things because they're the things that make the song that you don't even realise make the song. And texture is really, really important. So, 3AM Eternal, the second 12-inch of the 1989 original Pure Trance version there. There's very little by the KLF I haven't got in some form or other now. I'm very lucky, but at the same point, I work for it. And, you know, if you can't enjoy the rewards of your work, then why do you do it? Well, who knows? That's an entirely different conversation. So that is today's random record rummage on the 22nd, good Lord, the 22nd of October, 2025. Never thought I'd get here. Quite glad that I am. But of course, what a lot of things have been going on. So we have Ghostbusters, we have the Lemmy, we have Survival of the Dead, we have the David Bowies, and of course we have KLF and Therapy. So thank you for watching. If you've made it to the end of this, if you haven't, I can say whatever I like and you won't care or notice. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other. Stay excellent. Well, be excellent to each other and stay beautiful. I will see you all soon. My next band-themed one may very likely actually be for the Manics this year's album, Critical Thinking, released in February 2025. But that is when I can get round to it, because right now I have a bed to get to and cats to cuddle. And that, as I'm sure you'll agree, is far more important than this. Don't be too offended. Don't trust people that don't like cats or dogs, I reckon, but there you go. Anyway, see you all soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. How long can I drag this out, you reckon, before anybody stops watching it? Who knows? Who cares? Who remembers anyway?